Here's the thing. I don't want to be right. But when I know something, I know something. So anybody who attacked me after the Palace match because I said, well, Maresca might be returning soon, it's all right. I have an email. It's bluesandstripes@gmail.com. Send an apology email. You can just put in the subject line, I'm sorry I didn't believe you about the big bald fraud, and we'll be okay. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Blues and Stripes. So let's just get right into it. Maresca needs to be gone, and so do Winstanley and Stewart, because the transfer policy is not working, as we're clearly seeing with our defense and how bad it is right now, because we didn't go get anybody in the summer. We didn't get any experience, and so now here we are. We're stuck with Tosin and Chalobah, who are both not in great form, and then the only option after that, according to Maresca at least, because who's Achimpong, right? The only option after that is Fofana, and he's trash. So we have no experience, we have no quality in the back past our first two. And this is what happens. We get beat by the worst Man U team in history. But let's start with Maresca, because I have no words. I do have words. I just have no explanation outside of he's a brain-dead moron, because how else do you explain this? The starting lineup, he puts Fofana in. You can't explain that. You've got Achimpong, if you're trying to bench Tosin because he's not been good. But even if you don't have Achimpong, maybe he's injured, Tosin is still a better option than Fofana. And it's seen right off the bat. Whenever Chalobah goes up for a header, ball gets flicked on, Fofana turned off. No awareness. He pulls up a little bit too, which allows Mbeumo to get him behind, and now Sanchez has to make a decision. Either let the goal go in or take the foul. But all of that starts from Fofana not making a decision, not being connected to Chalobah at all. So when he goes up for the header, he's just off doing his own thing. Nowhere near whenever the ball gets flicked on. You could argue Caicedo was involved in that as well because he was tracking Mbeumo. But the fact of the matter is, one defender goes up, the other one should be connected. The other one should be dropping in behind him for that flick on. And he's over here. He's not even close. So Fofana should not be starting. Mistake number one from Maresca. Enzo in the middle. Mistake number two. I talked about it in the preview. I will defend Fernandes for his performance against Bayern because I don't think he was playing in his natural position, but he does look like he needs a break. And Santos came on and played well. Santos should have been starting this match alongside Caicedo, but instead, Enzo in the middle. And guess where we were getting beat so often in this match? In the midfield. Mistake number three. We get the red card. He takes off both Neto and Estevao. Now we have nothing going forward. Now we're not getting anything from this match. It's, let's just try to take a point when it's 0-0 and it's 5 minutes in. Are you kidding me? You're really going to sit back, go with 5 defenders, when it's 5 minutes into the match? You're going with a 5-2-2. Are you crazy? So that's mistake number 3. Mistake number 4 comes about 15 minutes later. He decides to take Palmer off and put Santos in. So now you've gone with a 5-3-1. And we were a goal down? I better find out Palmer was injured after this match, because if he wasn't, if Maresca made a tactical decision there, change it from brain dead to vegetable. Nobody with a half a brain cell would make a decision like that. Mistake number 5, going into the second half. They go down a man right before halftime, so now it's a bit more on an even playing field. The rain is pouring, which also can be a bit of an equalizer. Go at them. Let's take it to them. They're not a good team. We know they're not a good team, but we're letting them play like they're a good team. We've given them all of this confidence because we're sitting off like we're scared of the worst Man U team in history. We're just letting them play. So second half, let's go at them. Nope, let's pass around the back. Even better, because now there are puddles all over the pitch, which means there's a better chance of us giving away possession because of a bad touch or a pass that ends up getting caught in a puddle. What is the thought process there? Change your fucking tactics, you dumbass. And then finally, mistake number 6. We need 2 goals. He brings on Gusto and George with a combined goal tally of 1 between the two of them here at Chelsea. Are you insane? So as I said in the intro, everybody was flaming me after the first match whenever I said, I'm a little concerned. I'm seeing some of the same stuff from Maresca that I saw from him last season. I'm a little concerned. He has a chance to change it. I'm going to give him a chance to change it. Hopefully we'll see that it's not going to be the same as last season. 6 games in, it's the same as last season. 2 wins out of 6. We just got beat by the worst Man U side in history. The only other team that's gotten beaten by Man U this season, Burnley, who are going to get relegated. What does that tell you about where we are? And yes, the players are not safe because they didn't do their jobs. The transfer team is not safe because, again, they set us up for this by not getting a better keeper or better defenders. But you look at the decisions Maresca made today, especially after the Bayern match, when he made so many stupid decisions that made us look pathetic against Bayern, didn't even put us in the same category. And then you come to Man U and you just absolutely throw the game away with a terrible decision in defense to start off the match, terrible decision when we go down to 10 men, and then terrible decisions in the second half when we have a chance to just claw something out of this match after going down a man after 5 minutes. The fact that we had a chance shows how bad Man U are. If we had just shown any quality, if Maresca had shown any intelligence in the second half, I guarantee you we would have taken something from this. But he didn't. He's a dumbass. And here we are, losing 2-1 to Man U. This should get him fired. I don't give a shit. I don't care if people are, oh, it's too soon, all the players, blah, blah. No. The manager is at fault. He needs to go after this. Some people will say this is reactionary. You're damn right it is. We should not be losing this damn match to a team as pathetic as Man U is. Something else I will discuss, which I don't even really want to because I want to keep the blame focused where it is on Maresca, but it does need to be mentioned. Bruno's offside for the first goal. His sleeve right here is past the line in the semi-automated thing that they did. As far as I know, I've seen down here used as the defender's last part of their body. So since when is it now up here, which is basically part of his shoulder? Since when is that not playable part of your body? That's offside. So you got that. Also, Pedro gets tripped in the box. No foul. VAR blind as a bat. So I will say we were not helped. Man U was definitely helped today by the referees. The two main decisions they got right, Sanchez was a red card and Casemiro, that was a second yellow. Despite the fact people saying, oh, it was soft. Santos is breaking toward goal. He's in behind him and he drags him down. So he's basically stopping a counterattack. That's worthy of a yellow card. But no, those two decisions, we should have had a penalty. Their first goal should be chalked off for offside. That didn't help. But at the end of the day, look at the performance from us. We didn't deserve anything from this match. It's like looking back at the Bayern match when that wasn't a penalty on Caicedo, that wasn't a foul on Caicedo for the first two goals. Who cares? We played like shit. We didn't deserve to win that match anyway, even if the refs weren't helping them. But getting into individuals, I mean, this is going to be quick because I don't think anybody outside of maybe Santos played well today. Sanchez, the only defense I have for him is, again, Fofana didn't do enough to keep him from being caught in that situation, but he still has to be smarter there. He can't go flying in, swinging a leg. He's got to put his body through it. He's got to make sure that he's just in the way. And as much as I've been defending him, if he still has this in his locker, we still have to be concerned. I talked about it a bit so far this season. I've been a bit more convinced by him recently because he's been a good keeper. He's not made any stupid bonehead decisions. Here it is. You can't have your keeper making a bonehead decision like this and expect to have any chance of winning or challenging for a title. Jorgensen came in, made a couple of decent saves, but wasn't anything spectacular. I mean, neither goal is on him because they're both basically in the 6-yard box when they score. But I will also say that's a bit concerning that he's not more in control of his 6-yard box, that players can get headers, free headers in there without him even close to it. But defensively, that's something that also needs to be looked at because the amount of times they had crosses to the back post or just had crosses in general, and there's nobody aware. Everybody on the back line is culpable today. James put in some decent crosses to give us a chance back into the match in the second half. Doesn't at all cover over how bad his defending was, how many times he got caught ball watching while somebody's making a run in behind him, the clearance that led to the second goal, the times he gave the ball away under hardly any pressure. He was not good today. Fofana, like I said, he's culpable for Sanchez's red card, for not tracking back, for not being aware of what's going on. But defensively, he's just all over the place. No connection with his defensive partner, letting players run past him. He's not fully aware of what's going on. He's constantly switching off. He's not good. He should not be playing. Again, I think Achimpong is too young to be thrown in right now, but he's still our third best option after Tosin and Chalobah by far. It's Chalobah, Tosin, Achimpong, Fofana. Badiashile. Chalobah gets himself a goal. Fine. Defensively, he wasn't good enough today either. The flick on, he should be doing better, to be perfectly honest. Tosin came in, and you would think having 3 defenders back there would make us a bit more solid, but no. And again, he's the experienced one. He's the one that should be doing some organizing, and he doesn't. Everybody's just all over the place. I gotta say, the second goal, for me, is a perfect example of a team that just lacks ambition, lacks desire. Watching James kick it up in the air, and there are 6 Man U players converging into the 6-yard box, ready for wherever the ball's going to drop. There are 2 Man U players unmarked on the back post. And there are like 7 Chelsea players just standing and watching. They're not turned on. They're not aware. It's embarrassing to watch. Just watch that second goal and explain to me how nobody in our coaching staff, how our manager has not been sacked for what just happened there. That should be instantaneous. Whoever the defensive coach is, as soon as that goal goes in, he should just turn his stuff in and leave the club. Even just putting in a 50% effort there probably stops that goal. I don't even think they put in 25%. It was just standing there. Cucurella was probably the only one that came close to having a half-decent match. I would say his good was just about as equal as his bad today. Into the midfield, this is probably the worst our midfield has looked all season long. Caicedo really should be doing a lot better for the red card. And honestly, it just felt like he could not cope with the midfield today, which is not like him. which tells me he probably needs a break. Oh wait, we can't do that because we don't have anybody to give him a break. Good job, transfer team. And then Fernandez was a joke. He shouldn't have been out there today at all. I can't really talk about the 3 attackers behind Pedro because most of them were gone before they had a chance to do much today. But talking about João Pedro, I feel bad for him. It wasn't a good game from him, but it's not his fault. He basically stuck up there all alone. Maresca said, hey, you got this by yourself, right? You don't need any help up there, right? But Santos came in, probably looked the best of all the players today. Aggressive, taking on players. If he doesn't start the next match, Maresca really does just need to be sacked on the spot. If he puts out the team sheet and it doesn't have Santos starting, somebody needs to go in there and say, hey, turn in your stuff. Some interim can run this match, you're done. Because if you are that stupid, to be fair, he will start because it's Lincoln. So of course he's going to start in that match. But I'm saying next Premier League match, if he's not starting over Fernandez, Maresca needs to be done on the spot if he's not done after this result. Because this is a sackable offense result for me. And then the other 2 that came on, Gusto nearly gave away a couple goals. So good on Maresca for trying to throw the game away with him coming on. And then George did okay, I guess. I just think we had better options. I can't believe I'm saying this. I would have preferred to see Garnacho come in over him. I think George probably puts in a bit more work that helps the team, but we need goals at this point. We need somebody that's going to finish, and George is not a finisher. Again, 1 goal. So I said after the Bayern match that if we didn't win this one, it was going to be hashtag Maresca out on my thumbnails. So this isn't really a surprise. What is a surprise is how bad he was today, how bad his decisions were, how bad his subs were. It was just an absolute disaster class. It wasn't just it was disappointing that we didn't get a win. We had to take a draw against a poor Man U team. No. We got outplayed. We got dominated by Man U today. So this won't be the end of him. I'm sure he's going to be riding that Club World Cup success for a little while now. But anybody that's going to defend Maresca after today, you've got no ground to stand on. The Club World Cup is very much in the rearview mirror. Everything he did well in that tournament is completely coming apart 6 games in. Because at the end of the day, something I said in a previous video about him holds completely true and is being exposed so entirely at the moment. He's capable of managing when there's not much to focus on. We saw it last season. The Conference League, he didn't have to put a whole lot of focus into that because it was an easy competition. So we really just had to focus on the league. Club World Cup, that was it. That's all we had to focus on. He did fine there. But now we've got the league, the Champions League, we got the Carabao Cup coming up, we've got the FA Cup in the future. We've got all of these things that he's going to have to try to juggle. He's not good at that. And here's an example of why. So you can disagree with me all you want. You can tell me that I'm stupid. You can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. 2 wins out of 6. That's all I got to say. If we really want to see progression this season, 2 wins out of 6 is not progression. It is regression. We're taking 5 steps back from where we were last season. And it starts from the top. We got a transfer team that don't know what they're doing, didn't get the right players in, trickles down into a manager who doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what players to pick, doesn't know how to manage multiple games in a week. And then we've got players who are inexperienced, who turn off in big games like this. And this is a recipe for a disaster. So I don't know what else to say. Maybe this is the kick in the ass we need to get our season going. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not convinced. I don't see anything from this match, from the first 6 matches, honestly. We've beaten 1 trash team 5-1. And then we played decently well against Fulham. But we had 2 poor performances against Palace and Brentford. We had a terrible performance against Bayern. And now we've had an awful, pathetic performance against Man U. That's not a good look for the manager or the players. So those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the game today? Do you agree that Maresca should be gone? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea previews, reviews, and talks. And until next time, hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.